In this video, we're going to see how to check algebraic expressions like those found in Module 5 using the graphing calculator. The first algebraic expression we're going to look at has two variables in it, and the technique that we'll use will be one for dealing with multiple variables. We're going to be using two special keys in doing this. The keys that we're going to be using are the alpha key and the store key. Let me put that over here on the side. And before we get started with this, we want to insert parentheses. Anytime that you've got an expression that looks like a fraction, you need to look at the numerator and see if it's more than just a single number. If it is, you want to put parentheses around it. It's good to have another color. I'm using blue right there, so you can see it wasn't there originally. So if you're working with pencil, maybe having a pen handy would be good. And this is required also for the answer. And I worked this out previously, and this is the answer that I got. Alright, so now we're going to just take the calculator and enter these. And we're going to use the store and the alpha key as we do this. So let's pull the calculator up and go to the regular screen. And I've got something up there already. To get to regular screen, a lot of times you need quick. If I hit clear, that worked too. So if clear works, that's fine. Alright, and now I want to put my original expression in, but before I do that, because I have multiple variables, I want to assign a value to the variables. We're going to use substitution here, and we don't want to use 0, 1, or 2, and that's because they have very special properties. So we'll never use 0, 1, or 2 when we're checking expressions. Alright, so let's pull the calculator back up. And so let's just pick a value, and I'm going to pick 4 and 5. So let's choose 4 for A. And the way you put that in is you put the 4 first, and then you hit the store key, which is right above the on key, and then A. And to hit the A, you need the alpha key, which is right underneath the second there. You can see it's a green color on my calculator. And then you need the letter A. And notice how it's got an A for alpha in the cursor there. And then A is right above math. B is above the next. C, D, E, F. You can see them to the right of each key above it. And that is the alpha meaning for each key, alphabet. So I'm going to push math there, and I get the A, and I'll hit enter, and it's put a 4 in for A. And now I'm going to put 6 for B. I could put anything, okay, except 0, 1, or 2. So I'm going to store it, hit store, which puts 6 in for B, and B's next to the A, enter. And notice I did alpha, then B. Alright, and now I'm going to put my original expression, but I'm going to make an error on purpose because I want to show you how to edit it. My original expression should have a parenthesis around the denominator, but I'm going to omit them on purpose, and it'll come out wrong, but that's okay because we'll fix it. Alright, so I have parentheses, parentheses, 2 alpha A raised to the 5th, B, which would be alpha B raised to the negative 6, caret key, negative 6. When you're doing these on a TI-84, some of the models actually show the raised power, and you may need to use your right arrow to get it back down on the line. Alright, and I'm going to hit the math key here because the third thing down is cubing. So I'll go down to 3 and hit enter, and it'll say to the third power. And then I had a closed parentheses divided by open, now I'm not going to put that parentheses there on purpose, 4 alpha a to the negative 1, I forgot about the power, raised to the negative 1, b, alpha b, raised to the 5th, and I'm going to omit the parentheses. Okay, and I'll hit enter, and it'll evaluate that expression with 4 as the a value and 6 as the b value. And now I'm going to evaluate the answer, which is and I should get the same value because it's supposed to be another way to write the original expression. 2, open parentheses, 2 alpha a raised to the 16, close parentheses, divided by, and I'm not going to make a mistake here, over alpha b raised to the 23rd, close parentheses. Now, and hit enter. Now suppose, alright, let me go ahead and, now they didn't come out the same. This is the result for my answer, and this is the number that my original expression was equal to. And as I look it over, of course, I find out I missed the parentheses. I would like to show you how to get that expression back so that you can edit it. You use the second key with the enter key, and we use it once, and that gives us the most recent expression, but that's not the one we wanted. We wanted the first expression, so we use it again, and it gives us back the first expression. And we go over to where the 4 was, because there should have been a parentheses there, and insert a parentheses. Insert is above delete. We hit second and then delete because it's the second meaning, and put a parentheses there, and it puts a parentheses in front of the 4. And then we want one at the end too. And so we'll put it there, and then we'll hit enter, and those should come out the same, and they did. Now what happens if you check everything and you copied it right and you got all your parentheses right and it still didn't come out the same? Well, that would indicate your answer was wrong. And so then you could work it out on paper again and just enter the new answer and hit enter, because you've already assigned the values to A and B. Just hit key in your new answer, hit enter, and it should agree with, numerically, with the first expression. Alright, this second problem we're going to look at is also from Module 5. It's a multiplication of polynomials, and I did this and I got the answer given there. And this doesn't have any fractions, and it only has a single variable here. And so we're going to use a different technique that's used for checking expressions and equations with a single variable. And when we do this, we'll use the y equal key, table set, the table, and the delete. And again, we'll use substitution and never 0, 1, 2, 1 or 2. Okay, so let's clear the screen here, and let's go to the y equal key and clear that out too. And I'll show you how to make the entries. You put your original as y1, your your second your answer is y2. And if one of these plots up here happens to be highlighted, before you do anything you may want to go up and click on it so it's not highlighted anymore. Okay, because we are not using those. Alright, let's go put the original in. Open parentheses, 2x plus 1. Close parentheses, open another parentheses, x squared minus x plus 1. Close parentheses. And then go to y2 and put your second expression in, which is your answer. Alright? 2. And this is a technique that we use when we have a single variable in an expression and we're either multiplying, adding, subtracting, simplifying to get another expression and to check and see if they're equivalent mathematically. Alright, 2x, again we can use the math key for cube, which is the third thing down, minus x squared plus x plus 1. That's your answer. Double check that everything looks like the problem, and I believe it is. Alright, now there's two things we do next. First, we've got to check table set, and table set is next to the y equal key above window, and above means the second key has to be hit. So hit second, then window, and up comes table setup. And this is the way it will always look in the testing center and on your calculator when you first use it. We would like independent to be set at ask. So go down with the down using the arrow and over to ask and hit enter. And that, once you set it on your own calculator, will stay that way until you change it, which hopefully will be some other semester. Okay? And then, but when you go to the testing center, you need to do this before you start using your calculator because they reset it every time. Alright? And now we want to use table. That enables us to use the table and put in an x value of our choice. Alright, so that when we go to second table, which is above graph, right now it's empty. If it wasn't empty, you would use the delete key to empty it. Alright, and I'm going to assign a value of 11 to x. I can choose anything, just don't choose 0, 1, or 2. If it's correct, if the answer is correct, it will make both the original and the answer have the same numerical value. So I'm going to hit 11 and hit enter, and sure enough, it made the original and the answer equivalent. So that tells me that I haven't made an algebraic mistake in moving from this multiplication to the answer. Okay? And that's that.